Monroe County family has found a new home just days after their home on Montpelier Station Road burned to the ground. That was Thursday. The home of Mandy Bennett and Robbie Parks burned to the ground. Their 3 children were at school. Nobody was home except for their 2 chihuahuas. One was named Jake and one was Dixie. The 9-year-old Jake belonged to Mandy's father and was found hiding behind the washing machine as if it was trying to get away from the fire. Monroe County firefighters did respond, but it was too late. The 1,400 square foot home is thought to be a total loss. The good news, the family has found a new rental home closer to Forsyth. Find more details in this week's Reporter. The Forsyth Monroe County Chamber of Commerce has a new CEO and president, and it's a familiar face. Rebecca Stone has been promoted. She was the assistant to the CEO, and Simonia Blassie has been there for the last year, but has submitted her resignation, and the committee did a search, and the board said that they couldn't find anyone better than Rebecca Stone. She has helped the chamber hang in there through a tough year. The chamber has recently moved right across the street from the Reporter after they sold their building to Forsyth Cable. Find out more details in this week's Reporter. Monroe County commissioners are thinking of what life might be like without plant SCHERER. No, the county's biggest taxpayer is not about to close anytime soon, but natural gas is taking the place of coal plants in many places. The current administration is not as favorable to coal, and one of the units of plant SCHERER will be closed next year. The plant currently pays about $10 million in property taxes every year and would be a huge loss if it happened. The Reporter this week talks to officials in Putnam County, where a coal power plant was closed there a few years ago called Plant Branch. Find out what the ramifications would be on Monroe County and what the county can do to plan for that eventuality in this week's Reporter.
I told you you're the best thing I ever saw.
I'm Seth Berkebile, and this is the Monroe County Reporter Incident of the Week. Angry man causes damage to elevator. A guest at the Comfort Inn and Suites became angry when the front desk employee told him that the swimming pool was closed. The man cursed at him, asked for his name to file a complaint, and then angrily walked into the elevator where he struck the panel inside. Later on, another guest attempted to use the elevator, and when he pressed a button, it fell out of the panel. The officer spoke to the angry man, who admitted to hitting the panel, but said that he was not the one that broke it because he only hit it one time. The officer told the man that the hotel was asking for restitution for the damages, and the man agreed to pay them.
All right, everybody, it's time for our Newsmaker of the Week segment, and our Newsmaker of this week is Eddie Rowland. For more than one reason. Eddie wears a lot of hats in Monroe County, but the number one reason he's here is because he has been named the Monroe County Businessman of the Year for 2021. Congratulations, Eddie.
Well, thank you.
You have been in the real estate business and the heat and air business, and now you're entering the retail business. Tell us about your latest venture.
Well, our latest venture is we're going to do a country store, something similar to like people are familiar with Stripling's or North Georgia markets, where they sell local products, local goods, local meats and vegetables, and Georgia-grown products. So we're excited about that, and we think that it's going to be a great thing for our community.
Absolutely. It's looking really good. It's right up here downtown, kind of behind Fox City Brewery, and
really behind Robbins Credit Union.
Okay, that's a good way of putting it. And what do you think your date to open will be? I know you've been working very hard over there.
Yeah, we're looking sometime around mid-April, and we'll let everybody know before when we're ready to open. And we look forward to everybody coming and visiting with us. We've done a lot of work to the store, and my wife and my daughter have just been done enormous amounts of work just making it a really classy looking place that you'll enjoy going to.
Well, I'm sure locals will enjoy it, and hopefully the interstate traffic as well. It'll become kind of a place to stop on the way to the beach and to the south on I-75. But Eddie, you wear more than one hat. You're also our District 2 County Commissioner. And we had a couple stories I wanted to talk to you about this week. Number one, we've had a complaint from one of the attendants at the convenience centers that some of the retirees who man our convenience centers are not quite able to make it to the fire station. What are your thoughts on, will that be a situation that you can address or maybe wipe out?
Yeah. Well, and let me clarify, they're not able to get to the fire station. The fire station is the restroom for
right.
A lot of our recycle centers. So a lot of our retirees in the county, veterans, work in the recycle centers. And, once you get up to a certain age, you kind of have to get to that restroom a little bit quicker. So we don't want any accidents to happen. And after hearing about this about a week ago, I immediately went to our county manager and said I would like to see if we can do something to help out these guys. So we're working on that, and it should be on our next agenda.
All right, it'll be on the next County Commissioners meeting. And last point, really interesting and informative article in this week's paper, I know because I wrote it, about Plant Share and the tax implications for the future. We don't know how long we'll have Plant Share. It's our biggest taxpayer by far. What do you want to tell our viewers about Plant Share and how Monroe County needs to plan?
Well, if you go back 4 years ago, that's one thing I said initially. I really have a lot of concern about having all our eggs in one basket, and we did have quite a few eggs in that basket, as a lot of our income comes from Plant Share. There is a very real possibility. You just watch federal politics, and you know that fossil fuels are quickly becoming a thing of the past. With the legislation that's going on. So we are certainly, we've been considering things to do. Even last night it was brought up at a zoning hearing where we approved some commercial property. One of the discussions there was that we're going to need this commercial property and the tax off of this to offset what could possibly happen if Plant Share does shut down. We'd certainly like to think that there's an opportunity, because we do have to have power generated in some way, that if it could possibly be converted to a gas-fired power plant, that would be great as well. But at any rate, the county has to watch our reserves, watch our spending, and look for opportunities to increase our tax base, especially with commercial development. That would help offset anything that might happen.
Yeah, Plant Share pays over $10 million a year to the county and school system, so a big thing to think about for the future. Read all about it in this week's Reporter. Eddie was kind enough to talk to us for that story and much more. Eddie, thanks for being our Newsmaker of the Week.
Thank you.
All right. A new restaurant is coming to Bolingbroke. MARROW 41 is the new restaurant. They'll have, get this, 21 draft beers on tap. And we interviewed the chef in this week's Bolingbroke page in the Reporter. His name is Josh Howard. Find out what the menu will have and what you'll be able to eat and drink at this brand new restaurant in Bolingbroke, Georgia, in this week's Reporter. Monroe County Commissioners are taking a look at the county's convenience centers to try to make sure all their attendants can use the bathroom in an appropriate and timely manner. Yes, some of the county employees have complained that they are not always able to make it to the nearby fire stations that are adjacent to almost all of the county's 13 convenience centers. That's where you put your trash and recyclables. Commissioners have received a complaint that some of the attendants, who most of whom are elderly or retired, are having trouble getting to the bathroom in time, so they are looking to the possibility of putting porta potties there. Find out what the smell is all about in this week's Reporter. Well, Forsyth has long had 2 Waffle Houses, but for the next 3 months, we'll have just one. The Lee Street Waffle House will be closed for 3 months while they do a major renovation and gutting of the facility. That means there's only one place to get your chicken melt scattered, smothered, and covered: the Tiff College Drive Waffle House. Employees at the renovated ones say they will find positions at other Waffle House locations. Find out more details in this week's Reporter.
Hey, what about this breaking news we've got coming?
We're here on the outside looking in on the
Have you
porch.
heard about the breaking
What
news?
is the breaking news?
The City Hall is going to be delayed by 3 days. That's breaking
Yeah,
news.
they were saying they'd be ready April 5th, and everybody is sort of scratching their heads because if you drive by, it's a month away. It's not even close to being
You know, there
ready.
used to be an expression, the only thing we want to see is elbows and blah, blah, blah. And that's what we're going to be having to see up there. They're going to be working all night.
You made the cameraman laugh with that one, but
That-
the Pelicanos, the builder, Pelicano Construction, and they came to City Hall, City Council, and they said, Mr. Mayor, Council, we regret to inform you that our date of April 5th was a little too optimistic. We're here to ask for your permission that we finish on April the 8th. So I guess they give more
That was breaking news, man.
They give them more time to paint the
By the way,
hall.
you
They
know
got to
what?
paint the halls.
You know, the mayor has bragged rather continuously about parking spaces in downtown Forsyth.
Yeah.
Well, we've got 66.
Oh, you counted them.
No, that's what he
Oh,
reported.
okay.
And you know what? Today I tried to come to downtown Forsyth to have lunch and park downtown, and there was not a parking space available in downtown Forsyth. You know what I started to do? I told you what I started to do.
Don't forget to talk to our
I
viewers out
started,
there.
now, but I'm talking to you. I'm telling you what I'm going to do.
What are you going to do?
I started to call the mayor and say, Mr. Mayor, could you please come help me find a parking space downtown? but I'll include that in my call.
He could bring his golf cart and give you a
That's
ride to the
right.
restaurant.
That's right.
Well, in other news, the Monroe County Tax Commissioner auctioned off a bunch of property on Tuesday, and
How
Don,
did that sale go?
beyond their expectations,
Really?
we'll have to tease it for next week's paper just to say property remains hot in Monroe County, and
Oh,
some
heck
people,
yeah.
maybe some people got a good deal.
That's right. It's a good deal.
You didn't go bid on anything at the tax auction?
No, I did that one time before, and I'll never do it again. Because you don't get your money right now.
You have to wait a year till you can even touch
A year
the property.
plus 1 day,
366.
366 days.
You had an interesting point in your column. You got a letter from AT&T.
Yeah, when I first came to Forsyth, to call Macon, you had to dial 91. You had to dial the area code. Then all of a sudden, Forsyth and Monroe County became real inclusive with Macon. You didn't have to dial
478.
478-994, whatever. But now, guess what? Coming back up, ladies and gentlemen, get your fingers ready. Get your fingers ready real fast, because you're going to have to let your fingers do the walking if you want to talk.
You know why that's...
You're going to have to dial the area code, even if you call within Forsyth.
Wow, I wonder if that are we going to get a text message when this is going to go into effect saying this is from AT&T, from now on you need to dial your area code so you know when to
Well,
start?
it was in all, the way I got my information is I got my telephone bill from AT&T, and in the newsletter, there it was.
You're one of the 3% that actually reads their entire bill.
I don't read it. I don't read it. I just look for what's important.
One more point before we let y'all go. Don, you found out, you did a little investigative reporting and told me that copies of copies of one of our fellow newspapers were not available on Monday anywhere in the entire Middle Georgia area.
Because the truck caught on fire. They have it printed in Alabama, and the truck was on delivery to Macon, and lo and behold, it caught on fire.
That's pretty bad when the entire newspaper goes up in flame, the entire edition. I'm
Well,
glad
I've always said newspapers were pretty good for starting a fire. So
that started a fire. We're glad that this week anyway the reporter did not catch on fire. We're hoping it's hot news, but not hot enough to make anything flammable. Thanks for joining us on
See y'all next week.
on the porch looking in.
During this pandemic, the Monroe County Reporter is committed to keeping everyone safe and healthy and stopping the spread of the virus. How? Well, did you know that the Reporter is not only a great newspaper, but also can be converted into a terrific mask that blocks out viruses and germs? Scientists have discovered that newspaper ink printed on paper makes it very difficult for viruses to penetrate through the paper to reach your mouth. So when you're done reading your favorite newspaper, wrap it around your face, slap on some tape, and you're ready to live again. Yes, when you subscribe to the Reporter for just $40 per year, you not only get a great read mailed to your home each week, you also get a new set of masks with the Monroe County Reporter.